Right, now we're going to build the Ultimate Stack. So we're going to start with the Safari Trillium, and we're going to put that up at about 4 feet or 1.2 meters. We're going to put the ground sheet down, and we're going to attach the double bubble to the ground sheet using the zips provided. So they just zip together, those two pieces, and then I've already pegged out the corners of the ground sheet, and then you can just raise the double bubble by taking the corners and clipping it just behind the D-rings and cinching those tight. So in order to get the second level up, we're going to get a Safari Trillium and take out everything that's in the bag. So we've got some straps, we've got the tree wraps, and we've got the Trillium itself, some rudimentary instructions sewn into the bag, and a manual that comes with it. So I'm going to just keep those things in there. And the first thing to put on is the tree wraps. So I'm going to put the second level about 1.2 or 4 feet above the level we've got. I'm cheating today. I've got a ladder with me, which makes it a little bit easier. Should be very careful when you're working at height, and only do this with a ladder, usually having somebody foot the ladder at the bottom, make sure it doesn't slip. So I've got that one on there anyway. And this is how you do it without a ladder, which I don't really recommend, but we'll try it. Oh. So I've got my tree wrap here. And take it around the tree about this level. And while I'm up here, put the strap on. So take the loop around the tree and then put the tail through the loop and cinch that tight so it doesn't come loose. So here's the Safari Trillium, and I'm just going to lay it out onto this Safari Trillium so that the corners are on top of the existing corners. And then, just as we did before, I'm going to take the loop of the ratchet through the D-ring, take the ratchet through the loop, and then attach it to your strap. I'm just going to put a couple of cranks in it so it doesn't slip, and move on to the next one. So I've just threaded the last ratchet, and I'm going to pull as much tension as I can out of it from the ground and ratchet that up. And then what you want is really the corners to match up. So this one does, and I'm going to take the rest of the tension out on that side. So I've put the ladder against the ratchet strap here, and then I'm going to climb up and release this a little bit so I can pull most of the tension out by hand, and then ratchet it as hard as I can. Just make sure that the tail doesn't get munched up, so you want to hold it parallel. There we go. Put that into locked position. Why hasn't it gone? Okay, and then I can use the lower level to walk across. So now we've got the second level up. I've thrown the rain fly and the poles and the insect mesh on level 1. I'm going to climb up and start feeding it to myself so I can do it on level 2. First thing I want to do is start with the poles. So I'm just going to put those up there. And the rain fly is going up. And now I'm going to climb in up through the hatch and start setting it out like we do normally on a Vista, Safari Vista. So now I'm going to lay the rain fly out. I just want to make sure that the adjuster buckles with the C-clips are at the corners of each ratchet corner, and I'm going to clip those directly to the ratchet handles. So now I've got all the poles in the sockets of the Safari Trillium and in the sockets of the rain fly. I'm going to lift the 3 arced poles into position to create the domed roof. just as we do with the normal Safari Trillium, and then add the C-clips to each one of the poles. Each of the extendable poles has got a white cap on, so you can just take that off, put it through the grey webbing loop, get one of our guy lines, and take out one of the loops there. So I've got something to tension it by. Stick a loop in the end of this one. Take off the cap. Slip that loop that I've just made over the end of the pole and put the cap back on, and then we're ready to peg it out. So I'll take one of the pegs and I'll pull it out nice and tight. And you want to take that pole, and you want to take that peg right into the ground so that nobody trips over it or snaps it. Now the poles are making the dome and the X poles are in position. We can tighten up all the corners of the rainfly. So now I'm going to put the insect mesh up. So I'm looking for the C-clip with the yellow webbing. That's going to go right up in the center here. Once I've got that yellow C-clip in the center, then I need to find the corners, which again, I've got the adjustable band that go behind the D-rings. This time they're going to go on the inside of the poles. Once that's all C-clipped up to the poles, then we can start to bring it down and under, clip it tight and cinch it up to create that seal. And last one here, done. Okay, so now we're going to put on the double bubble to enclose this level. So here's the second double bubble. I'm going to keep the band handy. You can either go in one of the storage nets, but to keep it somewhere where I know it's never going to get lost, I'm just going to clip it around the corner there. And then as I shake it loose, what I'm looking for is one of the corners. I'm going to start with the top, so the edge that doesn't have the zip. That one. And this time I'm going to go on the outside of the pole and cinch it tight, and then follow that line to the next corner. On the outside of the pole, clip, cinch it tight. So just in from the corners, you'll get another elasticated webbing and clip that needs to go over the upper level. Clip and then cinch that tight so you get that seal nice and tight on both sides, and then that's going to happen on every corner. At the midway point, you'll find there's a toggle and loop that correspond, and that needs to go on each side. And then we're going to take it to the corners again and use the same clipping mechanism behind each of the D-rings and cinch it tight. On the lower double bubble, we're going to use the elasticated straps to go over the lower level of the Trillium, which when you cinch that tight, it means this Trillium comes up and rides over the lip of that lower Trillium, creating the proper seal. So then you can take these ones and come round the outside of your double bubble upstairs, just to make sure that that is really nice and tight. And there you have it, a Safari Stingray Ultimate Stack. Right, to make it easier to climb up, we've got the Tentsile ladders, webbing ladders. They're small, rolled, and very easy to put up. So, comes with two quick links, which go in your top side. And the top side is the side with the label. So you just make sure that the rungs are this way up. They don't want to be that way up or they'll rip, so you want to have them that way up. And then the quick links just go in those top loops. One in there. One in there. And then you take it over to the hatch and you see the seatbelt loops there. You just thread that through and then do up the quick link. Now the Ultimate Stack comes with 3 single hammocks as well, so you can have 3 people sleeping on the top, 3 people sleeping at this level. You can have your gear down here, but you can also put up 3 single hammocks at this level. I'll show you the hammocks. They come in their own little bag. You just fold that inside out, undo the clip, these come with these blue carabiners, so I'm going to undo the 2 clips for the double bubbles and bring that single hammock carabiner through, clip it onto the D-ring and then redo the double bubble clips. That's the top one, that's the bottom one, and then inside, so I've done the solo hammock up quite tight now. Means when I get into it, and you can have 3 of these suspended from the upper layer. The last thing you want to do for your Ultimate Stack is weatherproof the sides. So we've got 3 walls here and they go on pretty easy. So, and the top corners, you will find that they've got bungee and loops with a hook, and I'm going to take one of those, and you can either attach them to the lower level, but on this occasion I'm going to attach them to the top level and then peg it out so everything is covered if it starts to rain on us. So I'm just going to take one of the top bungee and hooks, and I'm going to clip that hook straight to the D-ring and then do the same on the other side. So now we've got the 2 ends done. I'm going to attach the middle toggle to the middle loop of the Trillium Safari up there. Ooh, Trillium Safari. You take your bungee and pegs. I'm just going to elongate this one. This is meant for a ground, that's a ground for doing the lower level. I'm just going to start pegging these out. I'm going to actually start in the middle. So I'm going to attach the long bungees to each of the existing bungees. And I'm going to start over here. Use the peg I've got for the middle. And then so now we've got one wall up, we can do the same on all 3 sides.